Hi friends, my name is Megan and welcome to my 14th Flosstube video. If you're new, welcome. I'm glad that you've chosen to spend some time with me today, and if you've been with me for a while, welcome back. I have been gone for about 3 months, I believe, which was not intended, but just kind of how it worked out. A lot has changed since the last time we have visited together. And I normally start with a little life update, but I think I'm going to save that to the end of the video. Not really sure how much I am going to share right now, so I figured by the end of this we'll just see what happens. I do have one life update that I'm going to just go ahead and share now, just because you're going to see this reflected in some of my stitching and in some of my shopping. But in March, around the middle of March, my sweet Herbie kitty, he passed away. We were together for almost 13 years, and it was really sad and it was really hard, and I'm still really sad, and the other cats are all weird still now. But yeah, so when that happened, I decided to take like a social media break. I stopped going onto Instagram, and you know, Facebook's a total train wreck anyways, so and I'm just kind of now slowly getting back onto Instagram. Like, I'll go on, you know, watch some stories and check out what people are doing a little bit, but I'm still, you know, when you're just so sad that seeing happy things just makes you feel worse. That's basically how I felt. And so, yeah. And, you know, everything else. So, I don't want to dwell on that right now. I have a billion things to show you. I have a little bit of crochet I'm going to do in the very beginning, and I've got one FFO, but I have worked on a lot of things, and I've got finishes and new starts and a billion haul. Just, it's been 3 months. It's a billion things. I also did a giveaway in my last video and then kind of disappeared, and I felt terrible about that, so I'm going to take care of that today as well. And I have another small giveaway that I would like to do. So, also, because I guess I'm out of practice, I'm extra like weird and nervous right now, so we'll see how this goes. I guess we'll just jump in. Like I said, I have a little bit of crochet that I want to share with you. Back in December, maybe, Michelle Cozy Egg had showed this yarn that was coming out by Ex Libris, and she was doing, or I guess probably still is doing, like yarn dyes inspired by books, and I thought that was so cool, and I believe the first one was Frankenstein, and I pre-ordered one skein of the yarn. It was called My Hideous Progeny, and I got a DK weight because I'd never used that. That's not something I guess crocheters typically use. I don't know. But I crocheted that up into this little cow. This was a free pattern. I think it's called the Delphi cow. I'm sorry I didn't write it down or who made it. But if anybody wants to know, I can absolutely let them know. But that yarn is gorgeous, and it was so nice to work with. Here's the, I haven't taken care of my ends yet. Here's how the back of it looks. But I'm super excited for the fall so that I can wear this. I also, something else that I had tried to avoid doing, but finally broke down and did, Crafty Cat Stitcher. She'd been showing this for a while, and I had thought about it, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do it, and then I did it. I joined Annie's Crochet Afghan Block of the Month, and that's what the Afghan will look like. And so I've got the first 3 done. That's a safety pin here. And then I just got my yarn for the second set of blocks, which are like these. And this is fun. It's fun to learn some new stitches, and they go by pretty fast, and I don't know, something to look forward to every month, I guess. And that's it. That's all the crochet. That's all the crochet I have for you today. I have done some embroidery. I didn't bring my one project over to show, but I do have something, a finish here in this massive stack in front of me. All right, so last we spoke, I believe, I said that I was going to be working on this, the Gilded Cage by Barrack Samplers. And I had talked about how I was just doing the center part here. You can see, to fit into a little frame. I was using these pretty dinky dies that came from an Oops pack. And I finished that project and I FFO'd it. And I think it is awesome. It fit perfectly in this frame. Back. It's like some scrapbook paper on the back. It was kind of funny trying to, like I put it on, you know, mat board, but I needed something to cover the back. This little foot that comes out. So there it is. I absolutely love it. I don't have anything like personal at work, but I think I might take this in for my desk. We'll see. So the next thing I have here, I believe, I was talking about in my last video that I have like my little sewing room projects, just something I can sit and stitch on. I've been practicing the sewing method, just like some of my smalls that I wanted to get done. And this is so I finished the secret stitching I was doing, and this was the next one that I had started. And this is Tread Lightly by Shakespeare's Peddler. This is what went on the other half of the Sampler Gold fabric I was using for the Scrub Pine Sampler. And it just calls for 3 colors. And you can stitch it separately or you can stitch it all together, which is what I did. And this is a 32 count, so I was going to use 2 strands, but I really don't enjoy doing the sewing method with 2 strands. It's just, you'll see in a minute why I don't enjoy it. So I thought, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some sulky, because then I can just use 1 strand. So I got a couple packs of sulkies here. I really like stitching with these a lot. And I picked out 3 colors, that went with the color choices that were on the pattern. And I ended up adding in a green here too. And so when Herbie was passing away, I sat with him while that happened, and I had to try to keep my mind a little bit busy, and I was working on that project, and I finished it, and I ended up turning it into a little memorial sampler for him. So I added him right here. There it is. I put his name and his dates. And it was really sad. Yeah. I don't want to dwell on that too much right now. Okay. So I also believe in my last video, I was talking about the Scrub Pine Sampler from Barrack Samplers, which is going to look like this, and how I was trying to put in 1 length a day of floss, just so I could try to get some progress, because that's a lot to fill in, and I was going to be working down here, and I did not do that. I did not do that. I did work on it. I did make some progress. Here are the colors. There's a ton of floss. Like I said, I want to get some of these done and out of here. What I did manage to get done was the top border and the bottom border. I'm thinking about taking this project and leaving it in my car so that on the days when I can make myself take a lunch break, I can maybe go and sit out of my car and add a little bit to it. Oh, what I was gonna say is when I'm using 2 strands, like these stitches are not great. Don't like that. But that's progress nonetheless. I also, because of this, I was gonna use this as like a car project. I was thinking about also what Michelle Cozieg said about scissor jail. And I don't know, it made me nervous, so I made something. I made this little pouch to keep my scissors in. I don't know, I don't normally make little things like that. That was super fun. So I made that too. I just thought I'd share. Okay, back to whips. I worked on Anne Barson Lowbro, 1837 by Plum Street Antiques. That's what it looks like. There are 2 colorways charted on here. This is, I guess, her pick. I am doing the antique colorway. And I am stitching this on 40 count. What's the call for? What is it? 40 count vintage exemplar by Lakeside. And I finished the 2nd page. I don't think the bottom 2 pages are full pages, but I'm loving how that's turning out. Now I've got a couple, well, I can't say I have a couple, I've done now a couple of projects on 40 count, and for some reason this fabric I have the hardest time seeing on. I don't know exactly why that is. The fabric is gorgeous, I just kind of struggle with seeing that one. The next project that I worked on was Quaker Gompo by Michelle Ink. I am stitching this on a Silk Weaver Autumn Fields 38 count Delarno, and I'm using Weeks Dye Works Merlot, Dinky Dyes Black Coral, which is my favorite black. I love that. And Planet Earth Fibers 6-ply Silk Peak 1096 maybe? I guess that's the name of it. It's beautiful purple. And I finished the top page. I already had the center page done. I finished the top page and got started on the bottom page. So that's how far we got. I love it. I was like really rocking and rolling with this one, and then I got down to the giant bird, and I was like, all right, I think I'm gonna take a break. But not much more to go, and I do have a whole nother half of this to work with, and I already have a pattern for that, which you will see here in a bit. Okay, the next thing I worked on was the Desiderata by Lifetime Samplers. So I told myself I would like to have this done by Quentin's graduation, and I'm like, oh man, that's years away. But this project is big, number one. Like, yeah, the back stitching words go fast, but this is a lot of dense stitching right here, all around here. Those borders are pretty intense. And there's a lot of back stitching, and there's a lot going on, you know. So I do think I need to work on this a little bit more. But I finished, come over here, this section, yeah, this section right here. So the next time I work on it, I'll hopefully get to the halfway I don't know, I might have to do like here and then do this in one section. I try to do like one section every time I work on it, so we'll see. This is on a 16 count lamb's wool Aida. It is big. Very big. That's a section I just put in. Fold it up. So here's where we are. I love it. It's a lot of fun to work on. This, I think, is turning out absolutely gorgeous. I love that. I love the like weird tapestry look to it. The back stitching just really makes it pop. So hopefully we'll get to the bottom here soon. Okay, so after I worked on that, that was right around market time, and I did pick up a few different things from market, and I'll get to those in a little bit, but there was one thing in particular that I couldn't wait for. I had seen it as a retreat piece last year. I had a good feeling it was coming out. I had like searched for it, hoping somebody was selling the pattern before, but it did come out at market. And you ever have one of those, oh, yay, like one of those moments? That is what this is for me. And so as soon as I could, I purchased it. I got it from Jen's Stitching Niche and a couple other things. And that is We Live in Hope by Blackbird Designs. This is just, I don't know, this is perfect to me. I love the boat. I love that anchor. I feel like that anchor might be one of the prettiest things I've ever stitched. I love that it says Chesapeake Bay. You know, that's what drew me in. The house, just the seagulls. Oh. There is another pattern in here too, which I also would like to do. But you know, my Chesapeake Bay wall is calling for this pattern. And so as soon as I got it, I wanted to start it. There was no question in my mind. I don't think I had any of the called for colors, so I picked my own and my stash. These are the colors I used. Beautiful. And I stitched it on 40 count shiplap. Sorry, there's a hair on it. By Color and Cotton. And I started it and I just kept going until it was done. I want to say it took about 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks. That's all I wanted to do, was stitch on this. Here it is. I hope you can see it. Look at that anchor. I mean, come on. That is gorgeous. That is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I can't wait. Erin's getting ready to make some frames again, and I was like, I basically don't even care what other ones get done. This one has to get done. I want to look at it every single day. I love it so much. There's nothing about this I don't like. I wish I could stitch it again. I love it then. So yep, there it is. We live in hope. So when I was done that, I decided to have another start, because this was something else that I bought the kit from somebody on Stash Unload, and it was like, you know, you get those itchy fingers, like, all right, I want to start it, I want to start it. So as soon as I was done that, I started this, and I again worked on it until it was done, and that is Simply Live by the Primitive Needle. So the woman that was selling this had all of the Valdanis except for maybe 2 colors where she had the recommended Gentle Arts. She also had a piece of 28 count mallow. I don't remember. It's in this pile because I used it for something else. Yeah, so I picked that up. These, so she sent the floss. It was so cute. All of these gorgeous colors. Really like that blue. And I stitched this on a piece of Dixie Sampler hand-dyed fabrics in Robin's Egg. It's a 40 count. So it's tiny. There it is. This fabric and the last fabric are both, this is a darker blue, and that's a lighter blue, but it's just getting blown out. When I tried to take pictures for Instagram, it just wasn't happening. But this is a really pretty blue. And I love it. I love how that turned out. All those different colors. Super fun. All right, we're still going. There's still, it's been a while. All right, next, so that brings us up to the 24 hours of cross stitch weekend, which could have been any time at this point. I don't know. I don't remember. But for that, the first thing I pulled out was Garden Vegetables by Kathy Bear. I hadn't worked on this since I had initially started it, and I wanted to get some progress. I am using my own colors that I chose for this. A little raggedy. That red is so good. And this is on 36 count natural linen, I believe. Over 2 over 2. And here it is. So I am officially halfway there. So that's one full half of it all the way done. I added in, this time when I worked on it, I added in the birds in that house. Oh, birdhouse. I guess it's a birdhouse. I don't know. It was fun to stitch though. I didn't even mind all that white. Can't remember if I had to add in any of those words down here, but very pretty. I feel good. I feel good that this is halfway there. I would definitely like to have this finished this year. I told Aaron he's going to have to build me some new walls for all of these projects. So I finished I got to the halfway point on Garden Vegetables, and it was still 24 hours of cross stitch weekend. Maybe I hit 15 hours. 16 hours. I never have yet to make it to 24. And so I pulled out this project, and this is a new start, and I don't know exactly why this was calling to me, but I just was like thinking about it, and I said, all right, let's go ahead and do it. So this is Heartstring Samplery's Gather You Tulips, and I think when I bought this and showed it a while ago, I was like, you know what, this is just like one of the strangest things I've ever seen. It's just kind of weird, and you know what, stitched up, it's just as weird. This is where I used the 28 count Picture This Plus Mellow. That's what it was that came in the kit with the Simply Live. And again, I just picked out bunch of colors from my stash, and I worked on this until it was finished. And here she is. Now you can't tell me that's not a little weird. In fact, as I was stitching this, like, Quentin was like, why are you stitching this? He was like, this is bizarre. And so I kept teasing him that I was just stitching him a new girlfriend. And he was like, no. So I put his initial on it. But I don't know. I like it. I'd like to make it into a pillow and put it in my room. That skirt is no joke. Actually, that stag is no joke either. But that skirt is no joke. So that's done. And then, oh, we're almost at the bottom here. And then when I finished that, I said, Quentin, what should I do? Should I make a new start again, or should I work on something that I, already have going? And he was like, Mom, you need to get some of this stuff done. So you don't have to worry about it anymore, just get it done. So I said, okay, and I pulled out my whips and I showed him all of them, and this is the one he picked out. And this is Fair Philomel by Barbara Anna Designs. And this took me literally 2 days to finish. So I'd just been sitting on it. I was not, I don't know, it wasn't like calling to me to work on it. If you know the mythology behind Philomel, it's a sad story. And I just hadn't done it. It was like my travel project for a while, and whatever, it's done now. That's it. All finished. I really just had to put in those houses and a couple little motifs in that bottom border. But it's done. All called for DMC. So after that, I wanted to pull out another whip because I knew I had another start planned for today. Actually, today is May 17th. And so I pulled out a pattern I hadn't worked on in a long time, and that is Heartstring Sampleries Forever Young. I am stitching this along with Michelle at Piece and Stitches on Instagram. It's piece_and_stitches. Pretty sure. Sorry. But I hadn't worked on this in a long time. I'm doing this in all of the called for colors. It's so good. It's just so good. I'm stitching it on 40 count patina. It's Lakeside. There's like a truck doing something out there. I'm sorry if you can hear the beeping. But I finished the second page. So I feel great about that. I know it's a lot of color changes. Also, this fabric is much different than I think it's showing up. It's like a beautiful soft green. I know there's a lot of color changes, but I don't mind them even one bit. This is so much fun to work on. The colors are so pretty. It makes it so worth it. So again, I just have the bottom 2 pages to go on this, and I believe those are both partial pages. There is that giant basket, so that might take a minute. So that I finished up that page Friday night. And so last night, I didn't want to start something new because I knew I had a new start for today, and I didn't want to pull out a whip necessarily because I don't normally like work on something for like a day. Like I like to, put my teeth into it and really try to get stuff done when I do work on my projects. So I have gotten 2 of these from Liz Matthews, her little embroidery patterns. So it's printed fabric and you just embroider select areas. So I've got this one, I've got another one I'll show you when I show you what came in the mail, and I have maybe a third one on the way. I can't resist them, they're so pretty. So for this one, you just do these 3 feathers, and then, I don't know if you can see, there's like little eyelet stitches and French knots around the top, and it comes with the key as well. So I started this last night, and I finished it last night. It took, maybe a couple of hours, but not that long. And here it is. So I'll bring it in for you. So you can see, you just put, there's like little white dots printed, so you know where to put those. And the bird has his key. And then here's the feathers. So much fun. So much fun. I'm so excited. I have more of those to do. I can't wait actually to get started on another one, but I've got some other stuff to work on first. And then the final thing I have to show you that I've worked on is my new start from today. Me and Tabitha at Cats and Crafts, all one word, on Instagram, are doing a stitch along. And I met her at Stitch Fest, and she is so sweet and so nice, and she has gorgeous projects and probably some of the most beautiful stitches I've ever seen. You should definitely check her out. But her and I are both starting Tilly Fig 1807 from Plum Street today. She sent me a picture earlier. She's starting up here. I started in the middle. I just put in a very, like 1/6 strand length. Because I knew that if I didn't do this video today, I didn't know if I would ever do it again. So, there it is. I believe she's using the called for DMC. I had 2 of the colors that were called for, so I picked some out of my stash. Looking at the picture, I didn't expect like the purple and the blue, but I'm here for it. I like it. I'm stitching this on a piece of 32 count Honey Amber by Seraphim Fabrics by Lori. That's her. Let's see the website there at the bottom. And that's what I have. I thought that this this fabric, which of course, because lighting terrible all the time. Put something behind it. So this fabric is like browns and kind of purples, and it kind of looks a little dirty, which to me reminds me of an old tombstone. So I will be getting back to this later tonight. Very excited. Okay. That's everything I've worked on in the last 3 months. I feel like that's a lot of stuff. I feel good about it. I think, like many of us, stitching is even kind of more important to us right now, just as a way to let our brains relax and escape a little bit. So I've definitely been tucking myself right on in there. Okay, I've got more piles. The next thing I'm going to do is the giveaways, because I know not everybody is into the haul, all the haul. So I'd like to do this now. That way, if you're not into it, that's okay, and you can peace out. So, the last time I was with you, I was giving away a pattern and a magazine, and the pattern was Wandering Heart by Threadwork Primitives, and this is going to Vicki Kessler. And the magazine, which is Cross Stitch Gold, that big old Santa, is going to Christy Martin. So I will comment on both of your comments, and that way you can get me your addresses. Speaking of comments, I did not comment back on anybody's comment on my last video. I feel like if you've watched me for a while, you kind of can tell right before I'm about to film a video, because I comment everybody's comments right then. I've talked about my anxiety about it and all that before. But so when everything was happening with Herbie was like right around the time where I would have made my next video, and I couldn't, and I didn't even heart them. I read them all, and I love them, but I just, if you take something that I'm already bad at, and then you add lots of other stuff on top of it, there's just no way it's gonna happen. So I'm sorry for that. I'm very sorry. And I think I said this before, I'll try to be better, but I can make no promises. Anyways, I'm gonna do another little giveaway today. Now that spring has fully set in here in Maryland, it's beautiful. The lilacs are blooming right now. The peonies are looking great. The black-eyed Susans are coming up. The rose bushes are huge. Like, it's springtime out there right now. So I would like to give away Country Cottage Needleworks Stop and Smell the Roses. I stitched this a few years ago, but I converted it to Grateful Dead lyrics. So I'd like to give that away. If you would like that, just tell me that you'd like to stitch the roses. And then I have another magazine. This is a Stony Creek Spring 2016. And that's what it looks like. And I'll show you what kind of projects are in here. They have like winter, summer, patriotic, spring, the beach, a sampler. I mean, something probably for everybody. So here are, hope you can see that. Sorry about the glare. The projects that are in here. I will say that this Halloween is part of some like Afghan series they have, so it's just a little section of that chart. But if you are interested in that, just tell me you would like the magazine. Okay. It's gonna be long. It's gonna be really long. So, let me just rearrange here for a second. Pull this pile over. Sorry for reaching and being weird. All right. So I am in a few monthly clubs, and I will show you those first. First up is Silks for You. This was the February colorway. Gorgeous. You know I love the reds. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I have to try to put this over here neatly, or this would be a disaster. And then these are March. I'm not sure where the April are. I don't know if I've gotten them. I know I just got invoiced for May. I know that poor Silks for You is having a terrible time getting silk. Poor things. Color and Cotton. These are, I feel like these are all just going to look white because lighting. And I don't remember which month these came in, but this was a 32 count Stratus, which is a beautiful blue, which is looking white. It's a beautiful blue, trust me. Cottage Stone in a 36 count. This is light creamy, almost with a pink undertone, also looking white. And this one is Love Letter, also in a 36 count, and this is like a pinky brownie. Type color. Okay. So my LNS is Needlecraft Corner in Parkville, Maryland, and I placed an order with her, Miss Dreama, for the re-release of the Blackbird Designs Loose Feathers, the summer, the autumn, and the winter. I lost my mind when these came back out. I had been looking at them for a long time, wondering if I was going to do the effort to try to get them. Here they are, and I'm very excited about that. I wish I could start them right now. After doing We Live in Hope, I want to stitch every Blackbird, everyone, just every single one. And then, speaking of things that are out of print and hard to find, the Cecilia Sampler posted that they had copies of A Most Noble Pursuit, and so I got myself one of those as well. This is so cool. It's beautiful. Look at that floss list. I'd never ordered from Cecilia Samplers before, and they sent along like a little floss organizer and a little freebie pattern and a little needle tin. So let's go back, way back, to Market. I ordered from a couple different people, I think, but mostly I ordered from Abby at Top Knot Stitcher Shop. It's like really cute little cards. I had a couple orders. I think there's 2 orders I think in here from her. So first I got the Death Rose kit. With all the goodies. All of the goodies. I love that. I'm actually surprised I haven't started that yet. From Heartstring Samplery, I got her Bones and Urn and Angels and Willows project label sets. Super cool. I, of course, had to get Struttin' Tom because he is awesome and beautiful. And the kit with everything. Can't wait to stitch him up. So that was like my market order, I think, from her, and this was a later order. I got the Chesapeake Bay from Classic Colorworks, which I think came out at market too, I'm not sure. The Magic Garden Sampler by Shakespeare's Peddler. I love this. Quaker Into the Forest by Michelle Inc. I love the Quaker Gone Poe so much that, and I've got Quaker Gone Haunted somewhere in here to show you, but this is so cool. I love the grasshopper and the weird chicken. It's so good. I also got, now this is something that wouldn't typically be my style, but it's just so, it's so weird that I really like it, and that is Carrot Talk by the Work Basket. Like, are they summoning demons? Why does he have no body? I don't know. But I really like that. Maybe for next year. I also got from her, Hello from Liz Matthews, Hold Fast, which I'm sure is no surprise that I would want to stitch this. This is something else I can't believe I haven't started. I very much want to. I've picked out, like I've got this ready to go. I am ready. I picked out this River Rock from Color and Cotton to put it on. It's a little more pinky purple. It's a really pretty fabric. And, sorry, trying to stay organized here. From Threads Entwined, I got all of the called for colors, except for one. There was one that she didn't have, but I'm sure I have something. This one though, Clamshell. That's what makes up that beautiful opal border. That one's really cool. Also from Threads Entwined, I got the threads for Thy Needle. Remember I got this last time? It has the pattern and the fabric, but I needed the floss, so I got the floss from her. And I also got some yarn from her. This is from Suburban Stitcher. It's called Smoke. This, of course, looks white, but it's actually a really pretty gray. I'd like to make another one of those cows with this. All right, I said that I had another of the Liz Matthews embroidery kits, and this one is Ferdinand. These you order directly from her Etsy, and she lives not far from me, so the shipping is super fast, which is awesome. Not being creepy, I just see where it comes from. Like, it comes with these little buttons, and here is the fabric. So for this one, for instance, you put in all of those flowers at the top. This is so fun. I think they're absolutely beautiful. I think the one I have coming is like a bunch of birds' nests. Okay. I placed in, so when I was trying to arrange this, I did everything kind of like by shop first, and then the things that came from Stash Unloading and eBay at the end, just to kind of keep it organized. So this is from Bush Mountain Stitchery on Facebook. From them, I got from Collection Tralala, Bonhomme de Neige, maybe. I showed the companion piece to this before. This is the spring and summer. So cute. So cute. And I also, got something stuck together here. I also got from them, from Bendy Stitchy, number 18, the Rolodex Morning Sampler. This was another one of those, oh my gosh, moments. Like, there is nothing that I don't absolutely love about this. Love it. Very excited to start that. The rest of the order that I got from Jen Stitching Knit, she sent along one of those beautiful limited edition Gentle Arts. And I also picked up a part of Ann Dale from Shakespeare's Peddler. Ann Dale is a gorgeous sampler. I will never stitch that whole thing. I just don't. I could, but I don't think that I will. But a part of Ann Dale is better than no Ann Dale, if you ask me. And I also picked up Summer at Not Forgotten Farm. I love that. There's so many cute projects in here. I've got the autumn book as well that I would like to pull out this year and do some things with. Like, I love these little herb pillows. There's some cute tomatoes in here. There's a bunch of different, it's not just like cross stitch, you know, there's applique and some punch needling and just some little sewing projects, so very good. My pile is getting a little weird. Okay. Almost done. The Good Housewife opened up her Etsy shop again. I think it had been on vacation for a while, but I went on there and I picked up Our House, which is friggin' beautiful. Really, really like that. I should put some like good intentions into that. I want to live there. From 3 Out Thread, she had a 2019 like market sale, like things that came out at market then. She had a little sale on those, so I picked up 2. I picked up on Coverlet Court at Scarlet House. I love that. And I also picked up, of course, Quaker Gone Haunted, and that will go on the other half of the fabric, I believe. I think it's gonna fit. The Quaker Gone pillows on. I also placed my first order with, it's Charm School. That's Allison Rosen, is a crafty girl on Instagram. And this is, if you haven't ordered from her, first of all, her stuff is cute, but she sends like a whole package of happiness along with your order, and I got this. You don't mind her. I just sent. I love it. I ordered something from 123 Stitch. Sorry. I got one of these blendable sulkies to add to my sulky collection. I had never seen this before. I'm just, I don't know, just out of the loop in some way. But it's the Blue Flower When Lilacs Bloomed, and I love lilacs. One of my favorites. I love them. One of my bushes is blooming right now, and it smells so good. We've got giant lilac trees, and they smell so good. I also got a piece of 36 count Platinum Edinburgh. I don't know real, I mean, I could probably put that on this, but no real use for it, just to have it in my stash. But the reason I went there, because I was thinking about Blackbird, because now I'm a little obsessed. And I really liked the way my pinks turned out on We Live in Hope, and so I got my pink rose because I want to use the same pinks on that, and I already had the fabric in my stash, so I was good to go there. I will start that soon. All right, I placed an order with 1884 Stitchery. I guess I was just spreading all the love around. And from her, I got Savoir Faire, also by Blackbird. I got Way to God Sampler by Hester's Needle. And the reason I went there was to get Gather You Rosebuds by Needle Made Design. I think that is gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. And she had listed Rose of Sharon, which is the called for color. She listed that she had it, so I ordered that from her as well, but there was like a mix-up and she didn't have it, so she sent me a bunch of these Bits and Pieces by Gloriana instead. Okay, getting to the end. So everything else here is either from eBay or Stash and Load, and this one thing that I found on Facebook Marketplace. I don't remember if it was my last video or the one before that, where I had found like a whole lot of stuff on Marketplace for a super good price, and I had not quite as much luck, but pretty good luck again. And when I say this was like $5 or $10, I don't remember, but the reason I picked it up was because it had this in there. All Hallows Eve by The Good Housewife. And then there was like a embroidery pattern and an alphabet and a Bent Creek and a Christmas thing. So those will probably be future giveaways. And then I've been on a little bit of a Good Housewife kick. From one seller on Stash and Load, I picked up Currants, Coxcomb, and Rose. I think it's beautiful. And the reason I kind of fell down a small Good Housewife rabbit hole is because she had these cats, these cat patterns, and I have one of them. And when I got it, I remember thinking, oh, I wonder if I can convert that to make it look like Herbie. You know, this was before everything happened with Herbie, and then after everything happened with Herbie, I started seeing these pop up, and this did look like Herbie. Herbie was a bullseye tabby, with big green eyes. So I found Maybelle. And Minerva. And I don't know if she has any more of these, but I'm gonna try to see if there's some more. And then this one made me cry the day that it came in, because this looks like Herbie, and if I change this cat to gray, it'll look just like Bug Kitty. Oops, low power, sorry. And this is Old Friends. Poor Bug Kitty has just not been the same. They were together basically their whole lives, and the house just feels very empty. There is a seller on Stash and Loading, cross stitch only, and she's doing these little prairie schooler kits. So I want to say they're like $5 maybe. They come with the little card, the little pattern, and then she gives you all of the flosses that you need and the fabric. And this is a pretty generous piece of fabric for that. I'm not sure what this fabric is. It's very pretty though. It looks kind of burlappy, but it's like really, it's actually very soft. This chart, I know it definitely came from eBay. I've been looking for this chart for quite some time. My sister went to Agnes Scott College, and when I saw this chart a long while ago, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to stitch this for my sister. And I don't give away a whole lot of my stitching, and this would be a pretty massive undertaking, but I think it's gorgeous. I don't know. And this is Agnes Scott, 1810, a historical reproduction by Ellen Chester with my needle. Here, a little bit of a glare because of the window. But isn't that pretty? Here's the original. Oh my gosh, I love it. I don't know when I'll start it. I don't think it'll be this year. But beautiful. A little bit more. We are very close to being done. I picked up from Courtney Collection, Maiden's Fair. I think this is very cool. Hi, Buck Kitty. You coming to help? This is old Buck Kitty. Come here. Come here. Hi. Yeah. He needs lots of extra loving these days. Right? You good boy? Come on. Come on. He's very much in my business all the time. Anyways, Maiden's Fair. This is like a pretty book, but I think that's beautiful. I have right here, I picked up a yard of 20 or 25 count Lugana, and I think I might dye that for this. I have this idea, I wouldn't normally buy a yard of any fabric, but I have this idea of, because wall space, of doing a bunch of samplers, like little tiny samplers. This I had my eye on ever since I saw Amanda May, the sweet Amanda May, over at Art Designs working on it, and this is Fond Hearts. Blackbird. So cool. I think that's beautiful. I love watching her do it. I'm a little behind. I was actually watching some of her videos last night. I don't know how everybody else watches Flosstube. I watch it alphabetically. So I start at the A's and I go down my subscription list and I get to the bottom and then I start back over. And so that takes me a long time. I have been watching a lot more Flosstube lately than I typically do. It's one of the, like, the few things that, like, it's just so soothing. It's extra soothing right now. So I was watching her last night and I was still in, like, her February videos, so I'm definitely behind, but she was working on that and I was like, I'm gonna be working on that soon too. I got this recently. This was definitely an eBay purchase. Moon Garden. Blackbird. That is gorgeous. And I have some fabric coming. I ordered from Kitten Stitcher today, I think, for this. Oh man, that's good. I got also, this is like my little Blackbird pile, I guess. The Fruitful Vine, Blackbird Designs, Ibsidarian Series number 6. And Raven Bewitched. From Carriage House Samplings, I got the Dainty House Wren. And I'll give you two options on how to stitch it. I really like this on the dark blue, and it comes with, it's when I ordered this, I didn't realize that there were beads all around the pillow, but I think I'd like to do it that way. Another one from Shakespeare's Peddler, Home Springs Eternal. I really like that lock and that key and that weird plant. From Chessie and Me, the Tallman House 1864 sampler. The picture came off of that. There's that. And my very last piece of haul is the Forest Sampler by Earth Threads. Which looks like this. And which came with the linen, which I will probably change out. Okay, was an hour. That was a lot of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to do just a little very brief life update. Of course, since the last time I was here, everybody's lives have changed quite a bit. You know, Quentin is not going to school anymore. I will say that maybe I shouldn't say. It's been challenging with some of his teachers, but I still, you know, work 50 hours a week, and Aaron still works full-time as well, plus side work, and Quentin has really taken it upon himself to take care of his work. He's been very mature about the whole thing. I'm very proud of him. I think he's handling all of this in the best way that he can. And I know he's taking it seriously, and I'm very proud of him. As for Aaron, he was laid off for maybe a month. I'd say about a month, but you know, he has very good customers that he does, you know, his side work for, and so he essentially didn't lose a single day of work. He worked at his jobs that he has here in town, and so we were very lucky that all worked out as well as it did. As for me, I worked from home for 6 weeks and just recently have gone back into the office. I didn't leave the house. I left the house twice in those 6 weeks to go to the grocery store. It was very weird because I didn't drive that whole time to drive myself back to work on the Monday when I went in. Anxiety's been high, but I'm just trying to work through it the best that I can. Day by day, as all of us are, just being smart, making a lot of masks. You know, I have to wear a mask all day, which has been different, you know. I don't know, it's just different. But if you made it this far, thank you. I would say come visit with me on Instagram, but I'm not really doing anything over there right now. I don't know why. Crazy. Like, I'll start to make a post and I'll be like, and I just save it in my drafts and then I never do it. And I don't know. I don't know why. Hopefully I get myself sorted out at some point. So, alright guys. Well, I love you all and I hope you all are well. And thank you for spending your time with me today.